Talk about going all over this racetrack, and they started on lap number 1 doing it.
We remember a year ago, Kyle Busch and Ron Hornaday got together going into turn 1 on the first lap. So this isn't unprecedented. These guys like to get with it here in Atlanta.
You wouldn't think you would have to fight for space when there's so much space out there.
Action picks up quickly. Kyle Busch trying to take third away from Parker Kligerman, but first he's got to get by that 31 of James Buescher.
And remember, the draft will come into play there. You saw James Buescher pull up behind Parker Kligerman and push him past Kyle Busch. These trucks running upwards of 180. The draft is very effective.
Kyle Busch takes over that 4th spot from James Buescher. Still out in front, it's Clint Bowyer, Carmichael back 0.8 of a second. Kligerman, Busch, Buescher, your top 5. Back through the top 10 in 6th, Cole Witt, Matt Crafton, Ryan Newman, Josh Richards, and Timothy Peters are your top 10.
How about the move Cole Witt just made that time? Something happened to James Buescher because he lost all his momentum, and Cole went by him like he was running 20 miles an hour faster.
Yeah, in his 4th start, he won the pole down there at Darlington, and you run right next to the wall. So I've looked for Cole Witt to be somebody you're going to have to deal with tonight, because you get a truck working up on the high side here, you can really make some moves, and we saw that there off turn 2.
Down to the bottom of the racetrack. Kyle Busch, Parker Kligerman up high. Cole Witt in the 60.
You know, we talked about how much we love racing here. That's why you can lead the race on the bottom. You can be the fastest guy on the track on the top. I love Cole Witt's line. That's where I like to run.
Right up next to the wall, next to that safer barrier. Parker Kligerman just in front of Cole Witt. Looks like Witt has the momentum right now, using a little bit of that draft. He closes in on the back bumper of Parker Kligerman.
We talk about the line that Cole Witt's running. We saw him. There he is right there trying to get around the outside of Parker Kligerman. He's going to be able to do it. He used that same move just a few moments ago to pass James Buescher. Here it is right here. Watch James Buescher down on the bottom of the racetrack. He's riding along behind. Kyle Busch loses the front end, has to chase that truck up the hill, and look at the momentum that Cole had on the top side.
That grip up outside next to the wall makes you feel like Superman. Watch James. He gets a little bit loose. You can hear him not being able to keep the gas down. And Cole Witt went by him, like you said, Phil, running 20 miles an hour faster than he was.
He had no such problem keeping the throttle down, because he sure did. Up to the 4th spot now.
Side-by-side action. David Starr, Joey Coulter.
Look at all these guys searching for the top of the racetrack, looking for that grip.
That's a slew of trucks.
Coulter running in the 19th and 20th position. Nice slew mention there. I heard that. Coulter still on the bottom of the track. David Starr venturing up a little bit higher, running a different line. Max Pappas just behind him. We see Brendan Gaughan, his teammate, just behind them.
I'm not sure why Brendan's down on the bottom of the racetrack. That's uncharted territory for him.
And I'm not sure why Joey Coulter's outside the top 10. 9 of the last 11 races he's finished inside the top 10 and moved from 16th to 6th in the points. So I guarantee before this night's over, he'll surface up there toward the top 10.
Johanna Long in the 20, just in front of this pack.
Sure get loose there. That was Todd Bodine and Ron Hornaday running in that pack as well. And here goes Cole, continuing to make that high side work.
Crafton trying to hold on to that 4th spot.
These guys have been battling. They swapped this spot a couple times. Just a few moments ago, we said that Cole had got up to 4th. Well, Matt had passed him back. Now Cole took it back again.
Todd Bodine on the outside. Johanna Long down at the bottom of the racetrack. You see them just up in front. Ron Hornaday in that 33. Trying to make the pass as well on Johanna Long.
Right in front of Colin Brown in that Ford onboard for Billy Blue Motorsports.
Well, these guys can't work this out, Phil. Matt's really, we heard Matt talking earlier today. He's going to run right on the yellow line all night long, he says. And it looks like his truck's really good down there, because Matt keeps holding off Cole Witt, who's taking advantage of that grip up top. It's about an even match.
Sure is. Cole had the momentum from the high side there. Just about is able to clear Matt, but he doesn't want to go to the bottom and clear him. He still wants to run the top of the racetrack.
Good gap between our race leader, Clint Bowyer, right there. His Bad Boy Buggies, number 2. Of Kevin Harvick Incorporated Stables. And the 2nd place driver, Ricky Carmichael, who started on the pole. He is back 3.2 seconds. How much will the tires fall off? That is the big question. Will they fall off quicker for Clint Bowyer, who's already put a 3-second lead on Carmichael? Or will he hang on and get another win in the Camping World Truck Series? Clint Bowyer out in front again. Tomorrow Speed welcomes David Reagan and Joey Logano to the wildest party in racing, hosted by Rutledge Wood and Kyle Petty. Don't miss NASCAR Trackside from Atlanta tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern, only on Speed, Motorsports Authority. How about a handful for the Exide driver of James Buescher?
Yeah, and that's a top 10 truck right there. You think he's not busy in that cockpit?
I just love that. That just goes to show, you know what he's reporting to his teams? Pretty good, I think. Got a really good balance. I believe we're going to be okay. And that's just how you have to drive here at Atlanta. It's just so much slippery. It's so slippery with the tires, and the back end just slips around so much. It's just hard to get a hold of anything.
You see Clint Boyer right there. You see the gap all the way back, almost 5 seconds back to Kyle Busch now, who has taken over the second spot. And these guys, Michael, have already slowed down a second and a half over their fastest laps earlier in this race. You heard that throttle. You heard Kyle Busch back off that throttle. We saw no such thing in qualifying.
Wow, Nelson Piquet Jr. hands full in the 8 as well as he slid all the way through turn 4.
I bet you he's thought, no one told me about this. He's making his first start here, and there's, I'd say, Phil, it's fair to say there's nowhere else like Atlanta.
Not now. Not now.
You go out and you run 180 miles an hour down the straightaway, and you get to the corner, and you're like you're on a half-mile dirt track, driving the truck like we saw James Buescher working the wheel. Then we saw just then Piquet sideways, totally off the corner, probably running 160 miles an hour and sideways, Rick, in a pickup truck.
And remember, the last time these guys were on the racetrack, they ran wide open. They had brand new tires. They pumped them on, put some tape on these things, ran wide open. No trouble right in front of this.
Right in front of the camera, smoke rolling out of Kolowitz, number 60.
Caution is out. Got one blowing up down the back.
Yeah, tough break for Cole, running 4th.
Or just stay on the apron here.
Man, this has been a...
The motor let go? Yeah, blew up.
Blew up.
That says it all right there. Tough break. What a great truck he had for this race. Run up in the 4th spot.
She blew up, for sure.
Kolowitz started the race in 11th. Had already worked his way, as you mentioned, up into the top 5, running in the 4th position. Had that battle going on back and forth between he and Matt Crafton, and now she just blew up.
Man, he started this season so strong. Rookie point leader, everything was going great. Top 5 finishes for Cole down at Darlington, and it's all gone to pieces, and he had such a fast truck here tonight.
There he is exiting turn number 2. Back in the throttle hard, right in front of Matt Crafton.
Caution flag immediately coming out. Also blew the engine at Texas, so they have had their problems on that 60 team.
Went to Dover and ran second. Maybe if you put it next to Darlington, maybe the second toughest track these guys race on.
Teams up on the wall getting ready for their drivers to maybe make their way onto pit road. We've already completed 19 laps. Clint Boyer's led all 19.
All the leaders are on pit road here in Atlanta. That includes Kyle Busch. He has reported to crew chief Eric Phillips. His truck starts a little bit tight, then goes to the loose side. It's going to be 4 tires, Sunoco fuel, and an air pressure adjustment for Kyle Busch. Now, Matt Crafton, he's currently running 4th. His truck is the other way. It's tight. They're going to do an air pressure adjustment, 4 tires, and Sunoco fuel for Matt Crafton. Ray?
Hermie, you might think that Clint Boyer's truck was perfect, but he said no, it's loose. They're going to go half a pound in the left side tires. Also track bar adjustment. They'll get the grill clean and Boyer will be away. At the very front, you see in pit stall number 1, Ricky Carmichael. They go to work there. Carmichael was free in. He says, I'd like to arc this truck out a bit. He's going to go out of the pits about 7th or 8th, it looks like, guys.
Yeah, great race off of pit road. Clint Boyer just in front of the 18 of Kyle Busch. Changing the battery on the 17 of Timothy Peters. Very unfortunate for that guy battling his way up through the top 10 in points. Wednesday night on Speed, Dumbest Stuff on Wheels is back. You've always heard the picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, just watch. This is just a sampling of what you'll see.
Watch this one. Watch this one.
Take a look at this. Have you ever worked in a warehouse where you drove a forklift?
Yes.
Well, this guy doesn't drive one anymore, I guess.
And my result looked a whole lot the same, Rick.
Again, that's Wednesday night on Speed. Dumbest Stuff on Wheels. Under our first caution, it was the 60 of Cole Witt. Engine expired. Looks like they're working on Ryan Sieg's truck a little more than he would like. We'll be back.
It's Camping World's Destination Recreation.
You know, I hope by now you've come to realize that Camping World and Good Sam have created a really great partnership. And one of the things that Good Sam has been offering for years that I hope you'll take advantage of is RV-specific insurance. Are you going to own one of these beautiful units and allow Johnny Local Insurance Guy to cover it? Do you think they're going to know exactly what it needs when you have a problem? And what if it's a total loss? Now, Camping World and Good Sam offer multiple different options. One is a policy that allows you up to $3,000 for your personal belongings. And they also have a coverage which will give you 100% full replacement cost. Do me a favor, go online, check out campingworld.com and put in keyword insurance. Guess what? Life comes at you fast and a lot of crazy things can happen.
Welcome back to Atlanta Motor Speedway as we're getting ready to get the restart of the Good Sam Club 200 here.
I want that guy on my side, Rick. If I'm going to get in a camper and go down the road, Good Sam looks so peaceful.
I'm not sure that Timothy Peters is going to be able to drive away with a man and his legs hanging out the passenger side of the truck. Ray, also problems going on with the 17, right?
Yeah, at first they thought it was an alternator issue. They did change the battery on this last round of pit stops, but they think now it had something to do with the ignition box. So he switched over to the B box, and the guy who jumped in the window was to completely unplug the A box, so that way it's not drawing power continuously. And now let's check in at the other end of pit road with Hermie.
Well, Ray, the 13 of Johnny Sauter spent an extended amount of time on pit road with the hood up. I came down to check with the team, and it's not an engine problem. They were dragging the racetrack. They physically had to go in there and raise the front of that truck to get the splitter off the track. Sauter hopes that helps his handling condition.
Guys, remember we saw them do that at Pocono to a backup truck, and then at the end of the races you see a lot of damage to the Armour Chevrolet of Ron Hornaday.
You got to think maybe that happened when when the engine on Cole Witt blew up. Maybe people let off and Ron didn't get slowed down in time. Look at this restart by Kyle Busch. He's going to try to push himself ahead of Clint Boyer.
Boyer trying the restart on the outside. That's what Ricky Carmichael did at the beginning of this race, and now able to surge ahead as they go down the backstretch, but just by about a quarter panel. Here comes the 18 once again.
I don't think Clint's going to want to give this lead up.
That's our super teams right there, boys. They're racing for the Truck Owners Championship.
Contact! The 18 of Kyle Busch got into the back quarter panel of Clint Boyer. He keeps it straight and keeps the lead.
They seem to be pretty serious about it, too.
Remember what happened last week with Elliott Sadler and Kyle Busch. Elliott Sadler was driving for Joe Dinette, but I think in Kyle Busch's eyes, he was still driving for Kevin Harvick.
Yeah, he drives for Harvick in the Nationwide Series, and that truck that Elliott set on the pole with up there at Bristol was a Kevin Harvick truck, so he felt like he'd been wrecked by basically a Kevin Harvick driver, and he wasn't wrecked by him, but they did get together.
Now nose to tail around the mile-and-a-half racetrack. It's Clint Boyer just in front of Kyle Busch. He's got about a 0.2 of a second lead that Matt crafted back in third. Austin Dillon, Ryan Newman, your top 5. Kligerman, Richards, Carmichael, Bodine, Buscher, they are your top 10. Outside of that top 10, Hornaday way back in 18th. Hermie, what's going on?
Well, Ricky had to come to pit road 3 different occasions. Somebody missed a shift on the restart, the last restart, and caused him to make some damage on the left front fender. They came in, crew chief Jeff Hensley thinks they got it repaired. Well, it'll be okay. He's back on the racetrack, but lost a lot of track position.
See that front end bottomed out a little bit on the front straightaway. It's really, really rough track here in Atlanta. Look at all the sparks flying out from the truck up there in front. That's Hornaday just passing Pappas.
Here's the Panay on board of Johnny Sauter. Remember, Hermie reported that he came to the pits to raise that truck up. Still having problems, it looks like.
Yeah, it looked like it bottomed out there. Did you see it go up the track? He shot up the banking toward the wall.
In Pocono earlier this year, points leader Johnny Sauter in qualifying got into the wall. They had to go to a backup truck, and then after they had the backup truck on the racetrack, they had to make adjustments during the race. At the end of that race, they ended up too high, and so they were fined 6 points, which really has hurt his championship hopes. He's still in the lead, but he's only in the lead by 7.
Ron Hornaday right there. Let's look at the initial start of the race. Look at the right side of your screen. You're going to see the 9 of Max Pappas. There's Ron Hornaday. He actually runs in the back of the 51 of Colin Brown. We got an earlier report that it was Max Pappas that he ran to, but it was obviously the 51 of Colin Brown.
What about last year here? He and Kyle Busch got together on lap 1, and it cost